Hey everyone, I'm your host, Angie Miller, and in my upcoming episode of Strong Mind, Strong Body called The Real Reason People Join the Gym, it has nothing to do with the scale. I challenge you to join me because I'm going to go so much deeper into people's value systems. And when they come to you and they say, I'm joining the gym to lose weight, I'm going to tell you why that is simply not true, what is underneath it, and why it's important that you understand. So I can't wait for you to join me in the episode. When you're finished, I hope that you will like, follow, and subscribe. And if you are so inspired, please leave a 5-star review. I'll see you in the show.
Welcome to Strong Mind, Strong Body, recipient of a Gold Markham Award for Excellence in Podcasting Content. Hosted by licensed therapist and wellness expert Angie Miller, this podcast blends psychology and fitness to help you build resilience and feel your best inside and out.
Hey everyone, welcome to Strong Mind, Strong Body. I'm your host, Angie Miller, and I'm really glad you joined me today. Your time is always my gift, and I want to honor it by challenging something that you might believe about yourself. So today's episode is called The Real Reason People Join the Gym, and it has nothing to do with the scale. I hope that gets your attention because the real reason is actually so much deeper. So let's dive in. So here's my truth. I had a very difficult year this year, and that might be an understatement. And when I personally go through something very stressful, I lose weight, not because I'm trying, not because it's a goal, but probably because I'm running on adrenaline and cortisol. My body gets stuck in fight or flight, my metabolism gets disrupted, and I drop weight. And I share this because it matters to what I want to talk about today. The ugly truth is that I've had more than my fair share of unwelcome comments this year. And some of those comments genuinely offended me. Not because I believe that people mean harm, but because they had absolutely no idea what I was walking through, nor did I want them to. But the reality is that those comments were all about my body and my weight. So here I am going through something pretty raw and ugly, and they're focused on my weight. And it was annoying to say the least, but more importantly, it was super hurtful. Someone would see me and say something like, wow, you've lost weight. You look awesome. Which of course made me think, well, how did I look before? Because it's sort of a loaded, backhanded compliment. But more often, it would just be downright insulting. So one woman actually said out loud in front of my whole class, okay, Angie, enough weight loss already. And then she shook her head, kind of what felt judgmentally. So seldom am I at a loss for words. True story. But in that moment, nothing that would have come out of my mouth would have served me or anyone else. So I would just walk away and think, if only you knew. But I would also think, how is this your business? And why are you commenting on my body? And in the moment, and in all the moments that followed, because of course I could very seldom shake what was said to me, it would really hit me how much people focus on weight and body size and shape, and how much that goes against everything that I stand for. I have always believed that fitness is an inside job, not an outside job. And it made me think about my work as a mental health therapist, as a wellness coach, a personal trainer, and a group fitness instructor. And how much body image comes up in all of my work in helping humans. Specifically, how much weight comes up and body size, and how profoundly that impacts the way that people think about themselves and how they live their lives. So a few weeks ago, it inspired me to start something. After every group fitness class and every training and therapy session, I always try to leave my clients with a takeaway, a soundbite for them to chew on throughout the week, or a thought provoking question for reflection. And for the past few weeks, in all of my classes and the clients that I touch, this has been my takeaway. I want to challenge you about something I hear all the time. For years, many of you and many others have come to me and told me that the reason they joined the gym or started to come to my classes is because they want to lose weight. And I call BS on that because I know human behavior. And I know that we act according to our values, not a number on a scale. So I want to ask you, if you joined a gym or you started working out to lose weight, I want you to go deeper. I want you to literally think about peeling away the layers of the onion. I want you to ask yourself, but why? And then keep asking, but why, to every response that comes to your mind. So let me explain my goal here. Losing weight is almost always a proxy goal. It's a stand-in for something deeper that people are actually longing for. And most of the time, they can't fully articulate what it is until someone asks the right questions. Maybe it is a stand-in for they want more confidence. They want to stop hiding. They want to feel chosen. They want to feel worthy, or they want to feel in control again. Fitness is never just physical. It's psychological, it's emotional, it's relational, and it's identity driven. But the body, and I really want you to hear this, the body is the entry point. But the deeper work is almost always what's happening under the surface. And it's about something so much more meaningful. I think once you realize that, you start to hear people differently. The answer under the surface is the answer that is tied to how people see themselves and how they want other people to see them and what they believe will finally change if their body changes. Because underneath, I want to lose weight is often, I want to feel confident when I walk in a room. I want to stop obsessing over pictures of myself. I want to feel attractive again after heartbreak. I want to feel in control after a season where everything has felt chaotic. I want to prove to myself that I can actually follow through on something. And I want to finally feel good enough. Once you start listening that way, you realize that weight loss is rarely just about the weight. So that question, but why, cuts to the core of what's underneath, not in a challenging way, not because you want to push back, but as an act of genuine curiosity. And with curiosity comes compassion and deep interest. Because I learned that the first answer someone gives you is almost never the real answer. It is the safe answer. It's the socially acceptable answer. It's the answer that they tell themselves in their head. But when you stay with them and you're a compassionate guide who is in support of them, when you gently keep asking, but why is that important to you? Something will shift. They're going to shed the armor and you're going to start to hear their actual story. So I'm going to walk you through some concrete examples, and I want you to listen not just for the words, but for where each conversation ends up going and where it ultimately lands. So here's the first example. I want to lose weight. But why is that important to you? Well, because my clothes don't fit. But why does that matter? Well, because I don't like going out when nothing fits. But why is that important to you? Because, I don't know, I've been staying home a lot. But why does staying home bother you? Because I'm lonely. I miss my friends and I miss feeling like myself. So we started with clothes. and we ended with loneliness. The real issue wasn't the size of the jeans, it was the isolation. It was a human being who missed belonging somewhere, who missed feeling connected. The core underneath was belonging, community, and connection. So, example 2. These are all weight loss examples. I want to lose weight, but why is that important to you? Because I want to feel more attractive. But why does that matter to you right now? Because my relationship just ended and it kind of feels like something's wrong with me. But why do you feel that way? Well, because maybe if I had taken better care of myself, things would have been different. But why is that the story you're telling yourself? Because I need to feel like someone would choose me, like I'm worth choosing. So that one is so important because this is where fitness can accidentally become a punishment. This person isn't trying to get healthy. They're trying to earn love. They're trying to prove that they are enough. And no amount of cardio is going to resolve that question. So the core need underneath is to feel chosen, to feel worthy of love and acceptance. So example 3, I want to lose weight. Well, why is that important to you? Well, because I want more energy. Well, why does more energy matter to you? Because I can't keep up with my kids the way that I used to. Well, why is that difficult for you? Because I feel like I'm missing things, like they're growing up and I'm just tired. I'm tired all the time. So why does that feel significant? Because I don't want to look back and feel like I wasn't really there. I want them to remember me as someone who showed up. So this person, they're not motivated by vanity, not even close. They're motivated by legacy, by that deep human desire to be present for the people they love the most. That is the most sustainable motivation there is. And it has nothing to do with number on a scale. The core need underneath is presence, legacy, and love. Okay. So I have 2 more examples because these are really, I think, powerful. And I think it grounds the concept more than anything else does. Because everyone, after they say, I want to lose weight, they go a completely different direction than what you might expect. And so you just really have to stay with them. So this one is, I want to lose weight. Well, why is that important to you? Well, honestly, it's because my doctor told me I needed to. My blood work wasn't good. So why does that concern you so much? Well, because my dad had a heart attack at 58 and I just turned 55. So why is that sitting with you right now? Because I'm scared. I'm not ready. My kids are still young. I have things that I haven't done yet. So it started as a medical referral, but it became something profoundly human. Fear, love, unfinished business. This person isn't just trying to lower their cholesterol, they're trying to stay alive for the people that they love. So the core need underneath is longevity, safety, and more time. Isn't that kind of what we all are? We're trying to buy more time. We have this unfinished, unresolved business. And we don't often get to the core of what that is, but these kind of questions can help you. So here's my last and final example. I want to lose weight. Why is that important to you? Because I want to prove to myself that I can actually do this. But why do you need to prove that? Well, because I have started and stopped exercising so many times. I feel like I have zero willpower. So why does that bother you? Because it's not just the gym. I feel like I can't follow through on anything. It's like I can't trust myself. And that right there, that's the goal. It's not the weight. It's not the willpower. It's the self-trust. They want to know when they make a commitment to themselves, they're going to keep it and that there's someone who follows through. So here's the core need underneath. It's self-trust. It's integrity with yourself. It's proof of personal worth. So 5 different people, 5 different journeys, all of them walked in saying the same thing. I want to lose weight. And every single one of them was talking about something completely different: belonging, identity, worthiness, longevity, self-trust. These are all human values, and they're what actually sustain behavior over time. Value systems get to the core of why we do what we do, but not a number on a scale, not the before and after, not the before and after photo, right? So it doesn't mean, though, when I say all this, it doesn't mean that everybody who comes in with a weight loss goal is shallow. It just means that weight loss is symbolic. Because if someone says, and if you're a wellness coach or you're a trainer and you're taking that at face value, I think you're really, really missing what matters. Because if someone says, I want to lose weight, what they're really saying is, I want to feel accepted. I want to feel safe. I want to feel desired. And I want to trust myself again. And when you hear that, your relationship with your clients changes. You stop treating fitness like a punishment, and you encourage them not to treat fitness like a punishment. And you stop making everything about discipline and assuming that people are lazy or inconsistent, because it's not that at all. Instead, you're going to see the emotional meaning attached to the body, because a lot of people, and I mean a lot, body image isn't really about the body. It's tangled up in things that happen long before they stepped into a gym. It's childhood experiences, rejection, shame, the relationships that shape how they see themselves. It's questions of control, like who's in control, of visibility, of whether they're fundamentally worth taking up space. So no, the gym is not just the gym. And here's the thing. Once you understand this, it changes everything about how you coach and train and how you show up for people. Because if you only coach the body, but you don't coach the emotions, the layers underneath, people hit their goals and they still feel, are you ready? They still feel empty. You see this all the time. Someone loses weight, they finally get the body they wanted, and somehow nothing really shifts. They still don't feel like enough because the weight was never really the issue. And no number on a scale was ever going to get them what they were looking for. And it doesn't mean physical goals don't matter, because they can. Movement, we know, can be super healing. And strength is so empowering. And caring for your body can transform your life. But when the body becomes the sole container for self-worth, people suffer, right? When it becomes the sole container for self-worth, people suffer. And this is something I feel strongly about. You could be a coach, a trainer, a therapist, or someone who just loves helping people, or someone who's listening today because you love fitness and wellness. The visible goal is almost always carrying an invisible emotional weight. And when you understand that, everything shifts. So what are people really searching for? I think at the core of so many fitness goals is a human desire most people don't even realize they're trying to solve. They want permission to feel okay in their own skin. They want relief. They want belonging. They want confidence. They want peace. And sometimes the body becomes the project they focus on because it feels so much more manageable than the deeper ache underneath, right? The body, again, it's like a project. It's what people focus on because it's within their control. Whereas all the other stuff, the deeper aches underneath, the loneliness, all of that, that can't be solved by going to the gym. So it's easier for them to say, I need to lose 20 pounds than to say, I don't feel worthy. I feel invisible. I feel disconnected from myself. When you can name it, though, when you can sit with someone long enough for them to say the real thing out loud, something will change. Fitness stops being about punishment, willpower, or discipline. It becomes about something worth fighting for. And that's a very different feeling. And that's what I want you to take from this. Weight loss goals are not automatically shallow. They're symbolic. The body is frequently the doorway that you can open and help them open to something emotional, relational, or identity based. And when you start to understand that, you stop seeing people as unmotivated and undisciplined, and you start to ask better questions. And if you're listening right now and something is landing, I want to invite you to try your own but why chain. What is the health or fitness goal that you keep coming back to? And then ask yourself why, and then ask why again. Keep going until you feel something inside of you shift, until you feel somewhere that feels very true, but also very raw and very exposed. Because I promise you, the answer underneath is more interesting than the surface answer. And remember what I said at the beginning. We act according to our values, not a number on a scale. So find your value, lead with that, and let that be the thing that brings you back. Because the truth is, most people aren't chasing a number, they're chasing a feeling. And sometimes the work isn't just helping someone change their body, it's helping them understand what they hoped that body change would finally give them in the first place. So again, I'm Angie Miller. This is Strong Mind, Strong Body. I'm so glad you joined me today. I hope that you'll leave me some comments, some thoughts about this episode, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for spending time with Strong Mind, Strong Body. Angie will be back with more tools to help you feel strong and centered. Like, share, and subscribe.